Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us for our next session. We have two of our great colleagues of mine, Chris Connors and Ryan Terrell, joining us. Chris Connors is the Associate Director of Financial Aid and also a proud Stockton alum. And Ryan Terrell, who's also with our Bursar's office, is also a Stockton alum. So again, today's presentation will be all about financial aid and Bursars. So without further ado, I'm going to hand it over to my colleague, Chris Connors.
Hey, thank you, Heather, and good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for attending this virtual session today. As Heather said, my name is Chris Connors. I'm Associate Director of Financial Aid, and I will be presenting with Ryan Terrell, who is our Bursar. And just a little bit about myself. I come from Lacey Township, Ocean County here in New Jersey. As I said, I'm the Associate Director of Financial Aid. I'm a graduate of Stockton, graduated in 2005 with my bachelor's degree, as well as in 2010 with my master's degree in instructional technology. I do apologize in advance. I missed the last session, virtual session, which is Life After Stockton, what our alumni are doing right now. So here it is. This is what I am doing. I am proud to say that I'm a graduate of Stockton. I appreciate all the mentoring everybody has done with me, from my professors to the staff members, and hopefully I can be a mentor to you beginning today. Okay, so I'll be speaking about 20 to 25 minutes on financial aid. I like to start with really where everybody should be, because that is where the next round of concerns usually come from. Okay, where everybody should be. If I'm speaking to students or if I'm speaking to their parents right now, where everybody should be right now is all of you should have created what is called an FSA ID. Okay, this is a federal student aid ID put out by the federal government. This allows you to complete the free application for federal student aid. It allows you to complete loan requirements offered by the federal government. It also allows you to check your borrowing history. So this is extremely important and really begins to get the ball rolling in terms of the financial aid process. With that said, the second step, many of you, the majority of you, I know, have already completed the free application for federal student aid, which is another way of saying it is the FAFSA, okay, more commonly known as the FAFSA. I know there's a lot of you that have not done the FAFSA by choice. Some of you are on the fence. Okay, many of you might say, well, I might not be eligible for anything, or you don't think that you're eligible for something, so therefore you don't do the FAFSA. Many of you, just choose not to do so. Okay, today I'm encouraging everybody to please do this. Extremely important. Whether you think that you're not eligible for federal aid, you might be eligible for state aid. You might be eligible for institutional aid. And for those of you that are scholars, congratulations. At Stockton University, you are required to do the free application for federal student aid as well. And you must do it every year to renew that scholarship. Okay, so extremely important. This application opened up in October 1st, and there's still plenty of time to get this done to assist yourself as a student or to assist your son or daughter. If this has been done, and if you've been accepted to Stockton University, congratulations. I'm assuming everybody in attendance are accepted students by now. This is an accepted student virtual session. You would have received an offer notification by email, okay? If you've just been recently accepted, hang tight. Very shortly, that email will be coming to you. Please understand that in order to receive this offer notification, once again, you must have completed the FAFSA, okay? So you must be accepted, have done the FAFSA, and very shortly, our office will be sending to you what is called an offer notification email, okay? And it looks something like this. This is the email that you receive. It's a sample email, obviously. Talon Osprey, who is our mascot. It's a very simple email, not too much to read. What's the most important thing is what's right in the middle. Underline in blue is the link where you can view that offer notification letter. Shows your costs, shows the aid that you will be receiving. Okay. Subject line, if anybody wants to look it up, is right there. The 2020-2021 Stockton University Financial Aid Offer Notification is available. So you can search that on your phone or in your email, and that letter should come up if we've sent it to you. Like I said, just be patient, and if you were just recently accepted or just recently completed the financial aid application, that will come to you very shortly. Okay, so that's where you should be right now. Now, the next steps, where you should be from this point going forward as we approach orientation and fall classes. The first step is what I just showed you, is to view that financial aid offer notification letter. Okay, so let's go back to that email. As I said, the most important thing is right in the middle. Click here to view your offer notification. There will be a lengthy URL that takes you into this offer notification. Okay, and this is what it looks like. It's extremely interactive, extremely informative, and everything you need in terms of financial aid, closing the gap, understanding your costs, understanding the aid that you'll be receiving, taking care of your balance, all that information is in this comprehensive letter that we're sending out. Okay, so let's scroll down and take a look at it. Just to give you, once again, this is a sample student that we have. First things first, what will it cost to attend? We usually like to put the costs out there. Okay, if any of you had the opportunity to see me at an open house, presenting with Heather, who introduced me, we usually go over what a cost of attendance is, and that's what you're seeing today, okay? We give you the direct costs, as you can see at the top of the slide. Direct costs are formerly known as your bill, okay? Tuition, fees, housing, meals. We also include what I go over at open house, those indirect costs. Okay, indirect costs is educational expenses, but not reflected on your bill. Books and supplies, the expense of transportation, miscellaneous expenses, as I usually like to say in my presentations, everything all the way to the deodorant. Okay, that counts as miscellaneous. Okay, everything to take care of yourself while your son or daughter or you as the student is at school. Okay, usually at times we get calls from parents to say, this is, I wasn't said, nobody said that this would be my bill. This is a lot higher. It is higher than your bill. And the reason is we want to make sure that your son or daughter, you as the student, is fully covered. Okay, not just with the bill, but every other expenses that it takes for you to attend class. If you have any questions on any types of components on this offer notification, you'll see a little icon that has a question mark. If you hover over that, that will explain exactly what I'm explaining to you right now, that cost of attendance. It will tell you exactly what indirect and direct expenses are, okay? It'll also go over what aid you will be receiving, okay? I have a sample student here. As you can see, they have some financial aid coming in from the federal government. This student is eligible for the federal direct loans, okay? Most commonly, students will see these two terms, subsidized loan and an unsubsidized loan, okay? Subsidized loan, if eligible from the federal government, which is based upon need, which is what I go over at open house. This is determined by the federal government, as I said, and if you're eligible for subsidized loan, the interest does not accrue while your son or daughter is in school, okay? So this is a great program. I'm gonna go into accepting these loans. Why I say it's great, upfront as freshmen, you all receive $5,500 in the direct loan program, as long as your son or daughter is at least half-time. Benefits of this program is it's low interest, it's fixed interest, there's no credit check, and your son or daughter does not have to pay this back until 6 months after they stop attending school. Okay, so it's a great program to begin to get you closer to satisfying that balance. I just mentioned about accepting that financial aid offer that's out there. Just using the student as an example of the direct loans. Some of you may have more than that. Some of you may have what we like to call free money based upon eligibility from the federal government and the state government. So we'll go down. If you look at the offer notification, it'll go over the next steps. Okay, first step, submit your enrollment deposit. To me, that's the priority here for everybody. Okay, if you're interested in Stockton, if you're considering Stockton, step one, submit that enrollment deposit. That really gets the ball rolling with every other process to begin enrollment for fall. You submit that deposit, you can then begin the housing process. Okay, which is extremely important as well. We will get you in line for orientation and registration. Okay, the sooner you get it in, the better. But let's talk about that second step. Second step is to accept your financial aid offer, okay? The awards that are offered to you, we offer them, but it's up to you as a student to accept them, okay? There are some awards that we would just never put on you. For instance, a loan, okay? It requires student action to accept that. And as I said, we're asking all students and parents to accept those full loans, the $5,500 that the federal government has offered to you. Accept them, brings you closer to taking care of the balance, and you can most certainly cancel them or reduce that loan amount later on if you don't need it. So how to accept it? When you click that button, it will take you into your student account, your student portal, as we like to call the Go Stockton student portal. It'll take you to our screen in the financial aid office. You click the tab. To accept that award, you're going to click this block in the upper left-hand corner, okay? You click on the aid year, 2020, 2021, and that's where you can accept those awards, and you also see any additional awards that have come on after your offer notification. Next step is complete any financial aid requirements. A lot of questions that I receive in my office, in the halls, or at any events on the road is, we're a little concerned, you sent us something, this offer notification, but we haven't heard anything from your office since. I'm starting to get worried. Is there something else I need to do? Well, if there is, what you will receive from our office is what we call missing information letter, okay? An MIL is our lingo, we like to call it. It's an email. As you can see, sample student, Talon Osprey, has received a missing information letter, okay? In this missing information letter, it will tell you what exactly we need from the student. We as an office, we like to do everything as much as we can for a student and a parent, but a lot of things sometimes required by the federal government, from the state government, it requires student action, things that we just can't do for you, okay? Something, like satisfying a requirement, providing a signature, providing some type of proof, which comes in the form of documentation, for instance, a birth certificate. If you follow that missing information letter, it will take you back to our portal as I showed you, which you should be becoming more and more familiar with. In it, on the left-hand side, once again, you're going to see financial aid requirements. You're going to click that. And once again, all these steps that you need to take, if you do have requirements, are listed in that letter, that email that you receive, okay? If you accept those loans, you will have loan requirements because it shouldn't be that easy just to get a loan. Federal government requires you to do what's called entrance counseling, where they're going to make sure you understand what you're getting yourself into as far as interest rate and when you have to repay it back. As I said, 6 months after. That's where they will tell you, they will explain to you what the difference is between a subsidized and unsubsidized loan. Okay, you also have to do what's called a master promissory note, what we like to call an MPN. We're also asking any of our state residents in the state of New Jersey to check your status with the Higher Education Students Assistance Authority, HESA, okay? And what does it mean by checking your status with HESA? Checking your status, if you haven't done so, make sure after you complete the financial aid application that you create a state, you register your son or daughter, or you as the student, with the state of New Jersey, okay? That's part of checking your status. If you have already created an account, you want to make sure you log into your account and there aren't any more tasks you need to do as a student, okay? State is a different eligibility, okay? They're much different than federal government eligibility. So with different eligibility, there's going to be different requirements. So please make it your responsibility to check if you have done it. And if you are a state resident and haven't created an account, please do so as soon as possible. So you're probably asking me, where do you go? Once again, in that comprehensive letter, it'll tell you exactly where to go. On the right-hand side, you'll see a little box that says New Jersey Grants and Scholarships. That'll give you the website, NJFAMS, which is New Jersey Financial Aid Management System, at the Higher Education Students Assistance Authority.org. That's where you can create your account, as well as check on the requirements if you have already done so. Next thing is closing the gap. What is gap? Gap is another one of those financial aid terms that we like to use, lingo, if you will. Closing the gap is essentially covering your balance, that remaining balance. How do you take care of it? Okay, Chris, I got $5,500 in loans for next year. That's nice. I got a little bit of a scholarship from my high school, from my community, but we still have this balance. How do we take care of that? Well, if everybody's following along, and I hope they are, we're going to go back to the offer notification. If you scroll all the way down, you're going to see 4 columns in Stockton Blue. On the left-hand side, I usually like to start with external scholarship opportunities. Okay, if you click that button, in all these 4 columns, as I just showed you, this is going to help you close that gap, okay, to take care of that balance. So let's click external scholarships. This will lead you to our awesome website that we have. The financial aid website is just probably one of the best financial aid websites that I've seen, and it's very good. What we have is a page called our Scholarship Resource Center. This provides a list of outside scholarships that your son or daughter can apply for. Just check their eligibility. We have everything from small business scholarships to scholarship search engines. For instance, fastweb.com, which I usually promote as the Google search engine of scholarships. One application can make you eligible for hundreds of scholarships. Do check it out. I give a tip to everybody. Spend 2 hours, at least 2 hours every week from now until you graduate college, and chances are you will yield hopefully some free money. The more applications you apply for, the better your return. And once again, this is the Scholarship Resource Center. Let's go back to the offer notification. On the right-hand side, let's jump to the right-hand side. You're going to see 2 columns, okay? Another way to close this gap, just briefly talked about some free money. Let's talk about borrowing. And I understand, yes, it's borrowing. Okay, it's not the most attractive thing, but it might be a necessary thing. Okay, once again, I'm not sure if you've heard it, but do remember when we talk about borrowing, college is an investment. Okay, just remember that once again. Okay, on the left-hand side in the highlighted columns, you'll see the Parent Plus loan. This is an opportunity that the federal government provides where the parent is the borrower. Okay, it may be an option. If you're looking into it, consider that on the offer notification. Okay, click that. You'll be taken to the federal government website. We'll talk more about it, the current interest rate. So consider that. Similarly, in a way, there's View Private Alternative Education Loans. Okay, the difference here is the student is the borrower, and that is through private lenders. Okay, you click that. Oftentimes I get a question that, can you provide me a reputable lender, Chris? And to be honest with them, I can't. I can't provide you one lender. Okay, but what I can provide you is a shopping list. Okay, let's narrow down your search. I can provide you a list of reputable lenders. You're going to click on that button. It's going to take you to our education loans webpage. Okay, once again, another great page that we have on our website, where I'll tell you more about the plus loan on the right hand, or excuse me, on the left hand side, what I have highlighted. And on the right hand side, where we're talking about right now, is the private alternative loan resources. You click that and that will take you to my shopping list that I just mentioned. Okay, this will provide you a list of reputable lenders that our students have had a positive experience with. A lot of these names look very familiar to you, but the great tool about this is where you can compare lenders. You can compare their fees, their rates, their benefits, their repayment terms. Okay, and that will help you whittle down to, hopefully for you, is a good lender for your son or daughter or you as the student. Okay, if I'm putting you in a borrowing situation, please understand we want to put you in the best situation, and that is the responsibility of our office. Okay. And the last thing, I don't want to talk about this too much because I don't want to steal Ryan's thunder. He is presenting very shortly on payment plan options. Okay, this is an opportunity that our college provides our students. Okay, you may have a balance that might be achievable, it might not be achievable in one shot. It might not be even feasible to write out a check because the balance is too high. But what we can do is provide you a payment plan option where you spread those payments out over time. Okay, it's very difficult for me to hold pizza, but if I take care of it one slice at a time, it's doable. That's what a payment plan is. Every month, we provide a payment option for your son or daughter. And Ryan will talk more about that in a bit. Another thing I like to promote here is follow us on social media. Not only do we have a great website, we have a great social media presence. Okay. And on this, we're at Stockton Finade. You can find us on Facebook. You can find us on Instagram. You can find us on Twitter. And this is where it's going to help. Okay. If I'm going to be talking to you about getting money, okay, how do I find more financial aid or things to assist the balance? I'm also going to give you a tip. This is my hook to make sure you follow us on social media. One of our most recent posts earlier this week, we posted on ways to cut costs for students and families that attend Stockton. Okay, these are tips put together by my staff, myself, my student workers, and they're really some, great tips. A lot of times I get questions from parents, how do I get more money? But sometimes you just have to ask yourself, how can I reduce my expenses? And it really, in the same way, you achieve satisfying that balance either way. So do check us out on social media, like us, follow us, and you'll find some helpful tips on there this past week. Now, if you jumped in on this presentation a little late, midway, don't worry, you can watch the recording, which will be on I believe on the internet. We'll post that. But we do have a web page that'll walk you through all these steps that I talked about from beginning to end, from creating an ID to closing that gap, if you will, satisfying that balance. And if you visit the website, the web page, stockton.edu/FAFSA, which is one component of the entire financial aid process. If you go to that web page, it will give you that entire process. Obviously, everything revolving around the free application for federal student aid. So do check that out. As you can see, it goes over a lot of things, tells you how long it takes to complete that task, as well as provides some awesome instructional videos to walk you through each step along the way. If you want to contact us, go right ahead. On your student portal, you'll find a contact us button. Click that. It'll provide you a form where you can contact our office. We'll get back to you as soon as possible. It might be a little tricky during this time, but probably the best way to get us, as we are working remotely for you, is to find an Ask Us a Question button, which can be found on the portal. And it can also be found on our website under the Contact Us page. So at this point, I'm going to hand it over to Ryan, our Bursar. Ryan, you there?
Yes, I am, Chris.
All right. I'm going to hand it over to you. It's your show.
Thank you, Chris, and thank you, Heather, for the introduction. I am the interim bursar here at Stockton University. I'm a proud Osprey alum. Like Chris, I have my degree in instructional technology, and I graduated last year. I do want to take the time to thank everybody who signed up for this webinar. Really appreciate you being here with us today. And it shows a lot given the current circumstances for everybody that's listening during these times. And we're still excited and we're still on track. And we can't wait for you to be here next fall. A little bit about myself. I have a financial aid background like Chris, over a decade of experience in higher education. Most recently, before my career journey in the Bursar's office, I was in the Office of Admissions with my colleagues. So I probably, hopefully have met some of you that are listening. And again, higher education is something that's near and dear to my heart as a first generation student, somebody who just generally enjoys learning, enjoys camaraderie, again, regardless if it's in person or via technology, what we're using today. I'm so happy that everybody's listening. So without further ado, I want to introduce myself here. You can see that's a lovely picture of me and Talon. And it says, get to know your Bursar. Now, that might not be a term that you're all the way familiar with. And generally what you want to think of Bursar, it's a weird word outside of higher education, but we are the business office at Stockton University. So we provide services to the university such as accounting, collection services, processing refunds, which will go through Osprey card transfers, financial reporting, and central billing. And we'll go through all of these things. And you can find our information on our contact page in Stockton University website. So a little bit of the things that I'll be talking with you about today are billing and payments, payment due dates, how to enroll in a payment plan, our tuition and fees, our housing and meal plan options, student ID, which is our Osprey card, and refunds and direct deposit. So billing and payments. Bills are viewable online, and one of the things is to remember that you won't receive a bill in the mail. This is something that a practice that we have done now for the last cycle. When you come in for orientation, you'll be able to view your bill after you register. There's several different payment options, cash, check, or in person, or electronic check. Or you could use a credit card for a small fee. And the way you're able to view your bill is through your Go Stockton portal. I hope that you are getting acclimated with your Go Stockton portal. You have logged in for the first time. And another tool on our website that is really cool when it comes to the bill, and like Chris had spoke about indirect costs, our office, the Bursar's office, deals with direct costs. Direct billable cost on what you will be charged for tuition and fees, meal plans, and housing. Even though the bills are not available as of today, what I'm showing you here is our bill estimator tool. And you can actually put in the amount of credits that you're going to take, your housing options, what semester you're in, and it will give you a rough estimate of what your direct costs will be. Now, just keep in mind, these are estimates and they're not based off the fully approved amounts for next year. But I find that it does give you a really good, strong sense. So then you can start planning your indirect costs, those costs that Chris did talk about. So you're able to actually see directly what you're getting charged. And I think it'll help you give you a ballpark on other expenses. Where do you find your bill? Like I said before, everything that we do is through our portal. And when you log into your portal, you'll see several tabs at the top. We're the Bursar tab. And it'll take you to your account, and right there, right at the top, that's where you want to click, and you will be able to view any changes to your payments. If you make payments, if you're adding and dropping classes, this is where you're able to view all the activity on your account. Payment and due dates. So for new undergraduate students, your bills are viewable by July 2nd. and the full payment is due August 4th. Now, like Chris was saying, hopefully you're in the process of applying for financial aid, regardless if you think you qualify or not. Whether or not you think you're going to accept your awards, because it's better to have it and not need it, and need it and not have it. So we always say you want to accept your financial aid awards first before that due date. And like Chris was stating, if after you have accepted your awards and you find that you still have a balance remaining, we urge you to take advantage of our payment plans at Stockton University. This way it can make a large sum manageable. And we do break out the payment plans in several different options. How you enroll in the payment plan, again, is through your portal. And if you look down under payment and deposits, it's the third link down. You can click on that and it'll take you to the step. It's a interest-free payment plan. There is a $60 enrollment fee or a $45 enrollment fee, depending on what plan you select. And this is, again, done in the Gold portal, or the other way would be in person with cash or check. And then these are the different payment plans that we have. We have a 5-month, a 4-month, and a 2-month. And this is determined by dividing the total amount due, including the enrollment fee, which is added to your bill, by the number of payments. Now, one thing to note, the payment plan will not reflect your financial aid until you have formally accepted your offer. So this is why Chris was explaining the importance of going over your award letter, understanding your awards, and accepting your offer. Because again, with direct costs, you want to know how much money, if you have to pay anything out of pocket, you want to assess it correctly. So you want to make sure your financial aid awards are accurate, or if you want to accept your awards before the due date. Tuition and fees. So per credit tuition, this is what it costs for in-state, and you can see it's a little bit under $500. These are the different fees that we charge, and if you are coming from out of state, it is tuition is a little bit over $700. And when you look at the totals at the bottom there, this is what it is per credit. Now, it is very advantageous though, if you are coming in, we offer flat rate at a certain rate. So if you're between 12 to 20 credits, it's a flat rate charge. It is not going to change. 12 credits is considered full-time. And a lot of students do take advantage of this. This is something, again, that you will want to talk over with your preceptor. But the good, 12 credits is 3 classes. So it's very manageable. And again, once you're acclimated, you might take more than 12 credits, but note between 12 and 20, it is a flat rate. Over 20 credits, you do incur a charge because the flat rate is for 12 and 20. So if you look at this, in-state is just a little bit over 7,000. And if you are an out-of-state student, it's still manageable and it's around 10,000. Housing. Now keep in mind too, I also want to preference, these are the spring 2020 rates. These are hard numbers. These are the numbers that are current. In July, the rates will change, but there hasn't been a fluctuation and change more than 2%. And again, if you use our bill estimator tool, that is factoring in that 2% change. Now, the housing prices vary on where you live, and some housing areas do require you to have a meal plan. So housing 2, 3, and 5, meal plans are required. Meal plans are not required for students living in housing 1, 4 in Atlantic City. Even though they're not, it does make, campus life a little bit more doable, a little bit more easy. We have several different dining options from our Atlantic City campus to our main campus. Looking at this, it makes me miss the Chick-fil-A, but it is very advantageous to enroll into a meal plan. One of the reasons being is because you can transfer actual funds onto your Osprey card, your ID. Your Osprey card can be charged the same way you would use a debit card or a credit card. And we offer restricted dollars and unrestricted dollars. One of the main differences with this is the unrestricted dollars allows you to participate in the program in the area with vendors who have signed up with Osprey Cash, meaning there's actual local businesses that will accept your Osprey ID like a credit card. And you can find that information on our website, and you see that link where it says participating off-campus locations. Refunds. Refunds are when a credit balance is created for more payments, more than the billable cost, and this can come from various different ways. This could be an external scholarship, this could be a private loan, and this can come from federal money through financial aid. If there is a overage that you're entitled to, we urge you to set up your refund through direct deposit, and you'll be able to do that during orientation, or make sure that the permanent address on file is correct so that when refunds are being assessed, they are mailed to the correct address. And last but not least, how do you make your deposit? How do you confirm your spot? So you will want to make your deposit again through your portal, and it is the first tab down. Once you log in, it will direct you with the information, and you can submit your deposit for your housing and your enrollment confirmation. And we accept electronic check or credit card. I want to end my presentation by congratulating each and every one of you. Again, these are extraordinary times. I know the class of 2020 will be going down in history, and everybody here is supporting you. And we know that the end of the year is coming, and it's going to still be a celebration. And we're so happy that you signed up for this webinar today and chose to be here with us, the Osprey family. Thank you so much for letting me share this information with you.
Thanks so much, Chris and Ryan, for that information. You guys were quite thorough, and thanks for using the website as references so our students that are our future Ospreys will be able to refer to. I know that each time I listen to your presentations, I always learn something a little different, and so that's quite helpful.
Heather, if you don't mind, I would like to just step in and say a few remarks. My name is Bob Heinrich. I am the university's Chief Enrollment Management Officer. I want to thank all of our admitted students who have taken the time this afternoon to participate in this session hosted by Chris Connors and Ryan Terrell. Very informative, and I think they provided a lot of information that can help you, where you are in the decision process or in the aspect of getting ready to join us as a fellow Osprey this fall. I want to highly encourage you to come back and visit the website over the next couple of days as we put the archives of these sessions up there, and hope that we get to meet you in person this summer and in the fall when we return to normal business operations. So we recognize that this is not an easy time for anyone, and we would have liked to have done this in person with all of you, but certainly we appreciate you logging in today, and can't thank you enough and wish you the best.